Prepare to experience the strongest radio allowable by law. Secrets will be revealed. Myths dispelled. From the studio gym where excuses never apply, it's Superhuman Radio with your host, Carl Lenore.
This is Science for Humans with Dr. Jeff Galini.
So yesterday we had the muscular Dr. Jeff on the show. Today we have the more brain-driven Dr. Jeff on the show. How you doing, Dr. Jeff?
Good. Yeah, I had to switch my my hats here.
I got to tell you, I got so many comments. Two things they commented on. I don't think a lot of people realize how high up you were on the food chain within the bodybuilding community, but also I got a lot of girls who said that you were an amazingly handsome guy in that picture. I used the picture from Gold's Gym where you have the T-shirt and the yellow shorts on. Dude, wow, man, you still got it, brother. You still got it.
Oh, that was fun. You know, sometimes, as I said yesterday, you know, we think about Science for Humans. I forget about my bodybuilding and my athletic past because I'm always talking about more scientific things. So it was actually fun to take a trip back.
So now we're going to take a trip forward. It's all the rage today. Selective androgen receptor modulators, SARMs. What are they, Dr. Jeff?
Boy, I'll tell you, yeah, it is all the rage all over the place. Essentially, as you said, these are selective androgen receptor modulators, and they provide all the benefits of traditional anabolic steroids, such as testosterone, for increasing muscle mass, fat loss, bone density, yet they show a lower tendency to produce unwanted side effects. Very interesting. You know, it's being developed by several pharmaceutical companies, but essentially this androgen receptor is the cellular receptor that androgens, like testosterone and other types of steroids, bind to. This bound androgen receptor pair travels to the cell nucleus where gene transcription is induced. I mean, this is where all of that stuff is taking place. So there's a couple pharmaceutical companies that have actually been leading the way. And first I want to say that these are illegal, and we're going to talk more about that. But GTX Biopharmaceutical Company partnered up with my good friends over at Merck, and they've been leading research on this field. There's another big company called Legion Pharmaceutical, and they've hooked up with a company called TAP Pharmaceutical, and they've actually been the one credited for the discovery of SARM's LGD 2941 and the 3303, using some technical terms. But these are all, you know, in clinical trials. They're working on, you know, reasons for using these in the drug industry, you know, to replace where they currently are using anabolic steroids, you know, for, you know, bone density, muscle growth and things.
Okay, so you talk about the negative side effects that they want to avoid by going to SARMs. I mean, because the first thing I think of is, why not just use testosterone? Why do you have to go through all of this nonsense to get a testosterone-like effect without using testosterone? So what are the negative side effects that the supposed SARMs community is saying that we will avoid?
Well, you know, if you look at the traditional testosterone replacement therapy, you know, that you see on the commercials, there's a lot of things that happen, especially, you know, in older people, you know, blood clots, heart attacks, high blood pressure. You know, those are some of the real common things. But, you know, that extreme aggressiveness, irrational thinking, you know, they kind of call it a feeling of well-being, but it actually works the opposite, you know.
Do you buy all that? Those are really come part and parcel with testosterone therapy?
You know, I think you got to look at drawing the line. You know, when you go to a doctor, and you are healthy. You do have to be careful. Again, we're not talking about younger people who don't need testosterone therapy. We're talking about, older males who do need it. As long as it's monitored by a doctor, it's relatively safe. There are side effects and things that can happen. These deep tissue, or these deep, I forget what they call them.
Deep venous thrombosis?
That's pretty common,
Yeah.
A very common thing. But again, as long as you keep hydrated, you move around, what's happening is a lot of people getting on testosterone therapy don't do anything. They're just sitting around couch potatoes. Active people aren't going to have those problems. But the problem is that, when you try to get it on the black market or administer it yourself, I think that's really where you're going to have those issues. Does it have side effects? Absolutely. I mean, that is known. Is everyone going to experience those side effects? Probably not.
Now, you said they're not legal. What you mean is that they are not legal for over-the-counter sale, right?
Correct. Like any drug, a drug is not legal unless you go through a doctor and they're prescribed. I don't know if currently these are. I know there are some estrogen receptors, SARMs, that are on the market right now.
Clomiphene.
I don't know I don't know if there's actually any SARMs that are available.
No, and to my knowledge, they are still a research category, research chemical or research drug. They're not being prescribed as of yet.
No, the last I heard, this Legion Pharmaceutical, they were finishing phase 1 clinical trials. So, this is a 10, 15, 20-year process. They first were starting to research these back in 1998. So they're still in the infancy stages. There's a lot of research going on. And, of course, there are things being sold on the black market as being SARMs. But that's a whole nother discussion here a little later.
Okay, so are SARMs themselves effective at what they're supposed to do?
Yeah, from what I saw, it looks like they are effective. They, from what these pharmaceutical companies are saying, not from what you read on the internet, they are saying that you get the exact same effects. These androgen receptors, play such a critical role in the development and function of our primary and accessory sexual glands, skeletal muscle, bone, as well as other organs. So the research is showing that it's doing the same thing as a steroid, but again, they aren't seeing some of the side effects that you would normally see in a clinical trial with a steroid. Now, you're going to remember, in these clinical trials, they have to invoke different ways that people could have side effects. For instance, they're going to have you drink alcohol and take a SARMs to see if you're going to die. They're going to have you smoke. They're going to have you do different things. So right now it's looking that the side effects are really minimal to none. I'm sure there's going to be some, but nothing similar to what you would see from, pure testosterone.
Well, and some of the research shows a couple things. Some of the research, just about all of the research on SARMs shows a definite influence on hypothalamus pituitary testicular axis in the suppression of testosterone production. So it was once thought that SARMs could coexist side by side with testosterone. What I mean by that is if you gave a man a SARM, that it would not influence negative feedback, and the man would continue to produce the same levels of testosterone as he always had. So the SARMs were being seen as augmenting testosterone production in a safer way. But now several of the clinical trials do show that long-term SARM use does suppress testosterone production. Mm-hmm. And while SARM, the things that are being thought of as negative, like you said, the sense of well-being, almost euphoric sensation that testosterone brings, we're starting to realize that influence of those components of testosterone on the development of depression and anxiety, especially from the conversion in men of testosterone to estradiol through aromatase. So we're starting to discover that men who are on long-term SARMs therapy may, in fact, over time start to develop some of the same symptoms of hypogonadism from a psychological standpoint. They may maintain their muscle, and there's this question about libido because of the role that estrogen plays in libido and dopamine. But as men's testosterone drops, they may start to notice anxiety, they may start to notice depression, and they may see a drop in their libido. And I really think that this is the reason why SARMs have not been the boon that the pharmaceutical industry thought they would be, because they do some of those things that we attribute to negatives of testosterone actually produce some benefits as well. Any opinions on that statement?
Yeah, correct. And I think, again, looking for the reason they were developing these SARMs isn't to replace testosterone therapy, because there are some important reasons for older males to actually have testosterone. It's for all the other ailments that they would give steroids. I mean, they give steroids to young kids,
right,
who are underdeveloped. So, again, I think it's an overall category. And it's not just for men, it's for both men and women, as they are developing these SERMs. I think one of the key things that, we have to really talk about is what people are seeing on the Internet. The thing I hate about the Internet is it's probably one of the greatest things that ever happened for information, but on the other side, there's so much rubbish out there. And, these black market jokers are touting that, this is the new Olympic drug. It's undetectable because it's in its infancy stages. They don't even have tests for it yet. And that's part of what the rage is about. Everyone's looking for a way to cheat, Carl.
Yeah.
This is on the other side. Forget about what's happening, from the pharmaceutical. I'm all for that. But when you come on the other side of the bandwagon, that's what the interest in SARMs is. Not that you can get bigger or stronger than, traditional steroids, but it's undetectable.
Well, but let's talk about that. There's an important thing that people need to understand about SARMs, as I understand it. There's a point of diminishing returns for SARMs. And what I mean by that is, if an athlete were to take testosterone at 500 milligrams a week, they would see an effect on their physiology, their strength, and everything else, their performance. If they then went to 1,000 milligrams a week, they would see a direct linear increase in all of those things. Their strength would go up, their performance would go up, and so. But with SARMs, there is an end point of effectiveness. SARMs is the kind of thing that if I recall, I actually experimented with SARMs back in 2007 when it first came around. There was a guy that was making it in a lab, and I tried it. And one of the things I noticed about it was, aside from the fact that it made everything I saw, it gave me a visual cast of the color yellow. When I looked around, everything kind of had a yellow haze to it. And that was one of the touted, and still is one of the touted side effects of it, that it'll change the color of everything you see temporarily. Once it leaves the body, it changes back. But that was one of the things that I thought was kind of scary to me. Like, anything that messes with your eyes, I'm not for. But the other thing is, I think you maxed out at about 75 milligrams or 40 milligrams a day. I forget which one it was. And once you started taking more than that, it didn't do anything more. It wasn't like you got double the results that you were looking for. It's never going to build the kind of strength, performance, and muscle that just pure testosterone will build. But I understand what you're saying. You're right. There are women out there who would benefit from testosterone, but they can't take it because of the androgens will masculinize women, change their voice, and so many other things. They would be a great candidate for a SARM, right?
Absolutely. I mean, again, I think from a medical standpoint, this is great. If they ever do perfect it, I think, again, for people who need this type of therapy, it's good. But like I said, we're talking about these black market peddlers, that we're going to talk more about here when we come back.
Yeah, let's take a quick commercial break. We're talking with my co-host, Dr. Jeff Galini. This is Science for Humans. Stay tuned. We'll be right back with more. how to properly use carbohydrates to ignite your performance in the field and in the gym? You will now, thanks to this free book by EFX Sports. The Carb User's Guide for Maximum Performance reveals why omitting carbohydrates from your diet can totally crush your gains. Ever wonder how many grams you need for your specific sport? Not anymore. We give you the critical number you need to dominate your competition. You'll even discover the super carb that's taking the athletic world by storm. You must try it to believe it. Go to getcarbolin.com/carb guide today and get your copy absolutely free. Once again, it's getkarbolin.com/CARBGUIDE. Prime Nutrition is proud to present Max HP, their most scientifically formulated pre-workout supplement to date. Now available in 2 great tasting flavors, tropic fruit and raspberry. Max HP is the most ultra-premium pre-workout available and is made without any artificial colors, flavors, or dye. Increasing blood flow to heighten anabolic activity, Max HP is designed to meet the heightened metabolic needs of high-performance athletes. Visit PrimeNutrition.com and use coupon code SuperhumanRadio to receive 20% off of your entire order. Go to PrimeNutrition.com today. The secret word is carbohydrate. Email that in to onair@superhumanradio.com to be entered for this week's secret word contest. And good luck. AnabolicMinds.com is the premier website for credible information on building muscle, burning fat, supplementation, and more. With over 100,000 active registered members and over 2.5 million posts, it's one of the largest communities on the internet to get help and answers to your questions. It's also the place that the official Superhuman Radio Forum is hosted. Visit AnabolicMinds.com today and get into the action. AnabolicMinds.com. Learn, teach, lead.
Superhuman Radio has the smartest and most dedicated health and fitness listeners found anywhere in the world. If you're trying to tap this market of greater than 50 million health fitness consumers, you simply can't do better than advertising on Superhuman Radio. Our sponsors tell us Superhuman Radio outperforms other forms of advertising time and time again. If you're tired of wasting valuable advertising dollars and need a new way to build your client base, go to superhumanradio.com and click on the Advertise With Us link. It just may be the best thing you have ever done for your business. At RUI-products.com, we offer the most accurately dosed high-quality peptides and research chemicals for all your laboratory needs. RUI-products.com is one of the oldest names in the business. Find out why the scientific community trusts RUI-products.com to provide the best products for your research. Click the banner ad on superhumanradio.com today and use the discount code SUPER15 and get 15% off our already competitive prices. If you're going to do research, do it with the best. RUI-products.com.
Bluebird Botanicals sources only the highest quality CBD extracts from hemp. CBD is a non-psychoactive, all-natural constituent used to bolster general health. Bluebird Botanicals performs third-party testing, has invested in state-of-the-art manufacturing equipment, delivers nationwide, and possesses industry-leading customer service. To get CBD delivered to your front door, go to superhumanradio.com, click the Bluebird Botanicals banner ad, and save 25% off with code SHR25. Bluebird Botanicals, setting the standard for CBD oil and extracts.
You drink coffee, but do you know what's in your coffee? Pesticides, herbicides, unhealthy molds and bacteria. That's unless you drink NutriCafe. NutriCafe is small batch, certified organic Arabica whole bean gourmet coffee that's infused with an immune-supporting medicinal mushroom blend. NutriCafe tastes amazing because it's low acid, and it doesn't cost any more to drink the world's best coffee. Roasted fresh every week in small batches. Go to superhumanradio.com today and click the NutriCafe banner ad to learn more. There's only one NutriCafe organic medicinal coffee in the world. Why would you drink anything else?
You're listening to the Superhuman Channel. Don't hate us because we feel good.
Welcome back to Superhuman Radio. Do you want to try the world's only patented buffered creatine monohydrate product in the world? Go to superhumanradio.com, bottom right-hand side of the website. You'll see the handsome Dr. Jeff Galini's picture there. It says, Ask the Scientist. Ask him for a sample and find out for yourself what all the rage is about. Creatine, other than crealkaline, is just, you're just urinating it out. That's all you're doing. All right, so getting back to the subject at hand, we're talking about selective androgen receptor modulators. They are on the horizon. We will hear more about them, I'm sure, as drug companies find their niche, finding the niches where the magic is right now. So let's talk about over-the-counter sales of SARMs for a second. Quite a few companies over the past year have been called on the carpets for selling SARMs like they are an over-the-counter supplement, like they're another vitamin or pre-workout or anything else. And several of them have been called on the carpet by the Food and Drug Administration now, and or have been sued in various courts around the country. How are they even doing this? What is the attitude? Is the attitude, hey, look, we'll make a bunch of money, and then when somebody slaps our hand, we'll get out?
They're scammers. First of all, SARMs are banned by WADA, the World Anti-Doping Agency, NFL, NBA, Major League Baseball. So it's not legal. It is a drug, and it's not even an approved drug yet. So what these supplement companies, and I'm not going to mention the name of a couple of them, but they've got DHEA, arginine. Don't try to misrepresent your product to be a drug.
So you're saying they're not even selling SARMs. They're selling dihydroepiandrosterone, which you can buy at Walgreens as a SARM.
Yeah, the one company I saw had DHEA, arginine, chromium, and they were calling it SARMs Pro.
Didn't they? They just got busted. I know who you're talking about. They operate a website that actually has the word steroid in the name of the website, and they prey on young kids who are unfamiliar and think they're buying real oral anabolic steroids over the internet, but they're actually just supplement level products, right?
Well, and you see several things out there. You see the steroid website, buy steroids without a prescription, buy SARMs without a prescription. Bogus, you're not getting SARMs. You might get some illegal drug in that. Don't buy stuff over the internet from people that you've never heard of. The other ones are these companies that, are indicating that they now have a legal form of SARMs, kind of like they had the legal steroids and the legal growth hormone. No, those are not SARMs. And then you just got the fake, flat-out drug company look saying, hey, we have SARMs, $195 a bottle. Again, little to nothing of anything in there. And you're not going to buy any SARMs.
Well, so, I think the real issue here is that we don't really know if SARMs are safe, and it's also clear that from a performance enhancing standpoint, you're better off just with testosterone.
Well, yeah, but at the end of the day, don't believe everything you read on the internet.
Right.
I mean, these are not available. When you see Merck come out with a SARM and, your doctor will prescribe it to you, then at least it's legal through that realm. But when the drug companies who got billions of dollars are still figuring this out, how in the heck are these black market companies going to have it already?
Yeah.
I did hear there was some, Chinese companies that were selling some stuff, but it's testosterone. It isn't even a SARMs. It's just a bunch of bogus junk,
Right. It's probably methyl testosterone that you're taking, and you're going to test positive for that stuff, too, if you're an athlete.
Dione. I mean, again, it's a little frustrating because, people get deceived, and sometimes they work, but it's not a SARM, You're probably going to get, androstenedione or 19-nor or something, which, again, is a banned substance. So remember, not only is it illegal to sell, it's illegal to purchase, and it's illegal to possess.
Yeah.
So you have to be really careful, just because you're the end guy and you go buy something. If for some reason somebody in China did make some SARMs, or even if they did put androstenedione or, methyl testosterone, those are drugs and banned substances. So, Schedule 3 narcotics, same as cocaine, methamphetamines, you could be up a world of hurt.
So this is, and we can close on this too, but this is the FDA's complaint, right? The industry is made up of a bunch of cowboys doing whatever they want. And you and I have talked about this in previous shows, that the industry has to police itself. Isn't this where other companies need to step up and start doing the work of policing the industry before the FDA says, okay, you can't do this, we'll come in and do it?
But, they classify all this as dietary supplements. Why aren't these fake drugs? That's drug.
Right.
They go after the drug industry for having fake drugs, but they come and say, okay, they're not drugs, so they're fake dietary supplements. The only ones that are fake dietary supplements are the ones, there's one you can buy at GNC, I believe, that says SARMs. that one the FDA should go after because they're trying to misrepresent a drug as a dietary supplement, but
Right.
all the others are fake drugs.
Right. Interesting.
Don't give us the blame in our industry for that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, you're right. So the bottom line is the jury is out on SARMs, and you shouldn't be buying them anyway. So that's it.
Nope. And if you want something that's really going to work and you want to stay within the legal realms and pass all your drug tests, try EFX Test Charge. It is unbelievable. That's my pitch on that one.
Yeah, no, but you know what? And just a little bit more of a pitch. I mean, this is a constituent that you discovered that only grows in one place in the world, definitely in the United States, and you found the ability to extract it and put it into a capsule, and it's been shown clinically to raise testosterone. So this is not what do they call it? Pixie dust. This is actually something that you have developed, right?
Good research. A big clinical trial was published. I think it's still waiting to come out. It should be at the end of this month. But yeah, actually raising testosterone levels, but safely. So, again, there are alternatives to testosterone therapy conventionally through a doctor, using something like Test Charge. It just takes a little bit more. You got to do it several times a day, but it really does work,
Yeah. Dr. Jeff, as always, thanks for being on the show today, brother.
Thanks, Carl. Take care, man.
Talk to you next week.